Welcome. I'm Rosie, and I've decided to do a YouTube channel. Um, the reason why I've decided to do that, I'm going to talk about um, my life, and how my powers, my deep struggles and vulnerabilities, and in doing this, I'm wanting to step more into my truth, but I feel that I'm guided that it could help someone, even just one person, if they're struggling with something similar to what I am struggling with or have struggled with. So I'm not wanting to achieve anything else, just really to step into my truth of who I am, and if that helps someone else, that's great. So I am a channel, and I channel different energies. A channel is a bit like being a medium, and I also am a Reiki master and an emotional freedom technique advanced practitioner. I've also got a degree in psychology with religion, philosophy and ethics. I've also got a teaching degree, and I've taught A-level psychology, and I've also taught religious studies as well. So I've got a range of experience from conventional education, and now I'm more in an alternative way of life, and that is where I'm self-employed, and I earn my money from doing channeling mainly, and I also use my EFT, emotional freedom technique, and Reiki. So what I wanted to talk about is why I feel I need to be honest about my struggles. So my passion is to be spiritually successful, but that is something that is within me and I do every day. But another passion that is even deeper and stronger than that on a physical level is that I want to be a mother. And I'm 36 years old. I'm not yet, sorry, I'm 35. I'm going to be 36 in 2 months' time. And so I'm very much aware that I have a biological clock ticking. I'm in a relationship at the moment, and my partner has got 2 children from another relationship. And he at the moment doesn't want to have children with me. Now, I know that if I feel inside, if I'm honest, if I feel inside of me that if I get to 45 or something like that, and I've gone through the menopause and I haven't had children, at this moment, if that happened, I would feel deeply disappointed, because I would feel that I haven't fulfilled a natural urge inside of myself. And I've gone through thinking, oh, do I actually really want children? No, and the thing is, no, I really do. I'm a woman. I want to feel my baby grow inside of me. I want to give birth, and I want to bring up that child. Now, I know, doing all the work I'm doing and what I have done and all of the research I've done, the studying I've done, I know that I am creating a situation with my partner that he doesn't want to have children with me. Now, when I was 20, I actually fell pregnant with my first proper boyfriend, and I ended up having a miscarriage. But I'll tell you the truth, I was 20 when I found out. I was so shocked, and I was not ready to be a mother at 20. I actually booked in to have an abortion. Now, all of the work I do and what I know and what I believe, that soul that chose me at that time to be its mother I was roughly 6 weeks pregnant when the miscarriage occurred, would have felt all of that, all of the cells, even though it was a tiny embryo, it would have felt all of that rejection from me when I was deciding that I didn't want it. And so I've gone through all of my healing and thinking about this because it is something that I've thought perhaps I've in rejecting that child, this is what I'm struggling with now. It's a deep struggle in me. But no, I've realised, and this is the work I actually have my own emotional freedom technique therapist that I pay myself to do have sessions with, and it is and I know this, it's going back to my childhood, my inner child, my little girl that is inside of me, and everyone has an inner child inside of them. Had things that happened. I had things that happened to me as a child that I coded, and I made a decision at those times that I just didn't want the responsibility of children. And this is what I'm working through now. I've been working on this personally for around about a year and a half, 2 years actually, and it's really coming to a head now, and there are more things that I'm seeing in the media and on Facebook and different things that I'm feeling that I just need to get this stuff out, this deep fear inside of me out there. And that's another reason why I'm using YouTube, because it's a bigger platform, and I'm just going to be brave and just talk about it, talk about how I think I'm stopping myself having a child right now. And because I had two younger brother and sister when I was a child, and I was the oldest, and there were things I felt responsible for them when I was growing up. And I remember thinking, on occasions, not all the time, but there were occasions when I had to look after them, and I felt like their mum. I felt so responsible for them, and I've realised that I just didn't want that responsibility. I remember feeling I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I was with my grandmother at the time, and my brother was only about 1 or maybe even younger, and we were looking after him in this public place, and he wouldn't stop crying, and because I was closer to him than my grandmother was at the time, I was trying. I was really trying to settle him. I was cuddling him. I was telling him it's okay. Nothing would settle him. And I remember feeling so scared that he wasn't being settled. And this man, we were in a public place. This man came over to us and said, "If you don't shut that baby up, I'm going to kick its face in." I was 6 or 7 years old. This is my baby brother that I'm trying to console, and he says this to me and my grandmother. I internalised that, and I was deeply shocked. It's actually a trauma that I've coded inside of me, because this is what happens. You code traumas like that. So nothing happened. He didn't kick my brother in the face, and in the end my parents came in the end and it was fine. But that moment I've coded, I can't console my brother, and this man is gonna, and I feel responsible for him, this man's gonna kick him in the face. So if you think about it, I'm carrying that all the time. And then there were other things that happened later on when my sister was born, and I felt responsible for her as well. So I'm carrying this. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there may be other people, other women who are in a similar situation where they really want to be a mother, and they've either had trouble conceiving, or they're not with a partner who wants to have children, and all of these things. And I wish to tell my story to maybe help encourage someone to look, if they are in a similar situation as me, to encourage them to look at what may be blocking them. Because you know what, I'm not going to give up. I know that I'm supposed to be a mother, and I've actually connected with the soul of I've actually connected with the soul of two of my children, and I do believe that I will have them in this lifetime. And I believe that my journey, I've chose all of those experiences. So I chose to be the oldest of my siblings, so that I would have the responsibility to look after them. And I chose to be in that place where that man threatened to kick my baby brother in the face. I chose all of that to give me this experience, so that I can heal myself, to bring in these children and give them the most fulfilling, nurturing experience as a mother. Because I know that unless I give them that, and I will not be happy with myself. I cannot be a parent who wants to ship their children off, or that regrets having children, or feel. And I know having a child is so hard. You know, it can be really put you under a lot of pressure, especially if you're not sleeping. You know, there's night feeds, nappy changing. It can literally, if you've got problems inside of you, it can break you. And I know that I'm setting my intention, and I've set the intention that I'm going to heal it, and I'm going to have these children, because if I don't, I will feel like I've done myself a disservice, and I'm not going to do that. And you know, I've realised that I've had different struggles in my life, and the struggles that I've had in my life have caused me a lot of emotional pain, so much pain that I felt suicidal. and sometimes I do feel suicidal even now, even though I've changed my life a lot. I still have this pain, and it's a really, really dark pain, and there's only a few people who I'm close to who I've told about this pain, who I feel really understand it because some people just, when you talk about this pain, and if they've not really experienced it, they can't relate to it, and they can make you feel, well, not intentionally, but it can make you feel very alone, and that is part of the pain. The pain is deep, deep loneliness, feeling completely isolated, feeling like no one in the whole world understands you, and it's so dark. You hate yourself. You actually you want to cut. I feel like I have felt like cutting myself completely open and ripping my skin off of my body because I've been in that much pain, and destroying my bones. It's like I want to destroy myself. So that is literally how I feel. Or then that's at the most violent level. At a less violent level, because I don't want to cause any pain to anyone else. I wish I was a computer program or something. This is what goes on in myself. And I want to hit the delete button, and I just want to delete my life and not exist in anyone's consciousness, because I don't want to hurt anyone. So I don't want to cause anyone pain by committing suicide. I just want to exit, go out the back door, and not be even anyone is aware of me. And that is another thing. And I people who meet me and see me probably see me as quite confident, bubbly. Yeah, I can be, but I've also got this other dark side, which I literally sometimes I just don't want to be here at all, because it's just so painful. And that's another thing I want to reach out to people, because I know that I'm not the only one who suffers with this pain. It's a universal thing. We have it as humans, this loneliness. It's the separation that we feel. And that's another thing. I realised that there's no way, while I was carrying this pain, that I could give that to my child. If there was a chance, 1% chance that my child could have this pain, I couldn't forgive myself, because I don't even want it to have 1% of this pain. This pain that I have felt and can still feel sometimes is so raw, is so loathing, it's awful, it's so bad. If there was a chance I passed that on to my child, my child, I couldn't forgive myself. Now that's my stuff, that's something, because obviously another thing that we need to be aware of, and we all are aware of, is your children are your children, but they're not yours. They're their own people. So this is another part of my journey. So my pain that I have struggled with, and I'm still struggling with, is my chosen pain for my soul. I chose that pain. I chose that life experience. I chose those challenges. And if I say to myself, if I have a child, there's no way I want it to experience even 1% of that pain, and that's what's stopping me from having a child. I'm not allowing that child to have its choices. At a human level, there's no way you want your children to experience pain. No one does. No one in a right, sane mind would want their child to experience any pain. You don't. You don't. It's a parent's probably worst nightmare to think for their child in pain. But what I'm realising is, you see, that child there might be a reason why, if at a soul level, because we're more than just humans, there's, the energy, you can't destroy energy. There's more than just this life. This is what I believe. And perhaps that is what they've chosen. Perhaps it's like going into a sweet shop and choosing your chocolate bar and saying, oh, that's the flavour I want, and you're not allowing them to have it as their mother, and you say, oh, I want to give you everything you want, but maybe that is what they want. And that is what I'm coming to terms with. I'm coming to terms with the fact that I can't control that. If I have a child and they go through pain, I can't control that for them. I can just love them and teach them how to love themselves, encourage them all that I can. But if they have pain, I can't dictate that for them, just like my parents couldn't. And I know my parents cared for me so much. But some of the things that happened to me in my childhood meant that I experienced that pain. And that's because I chose them as parents. So if they'd have consciously known at the time what things that they did would cause me that pain, they probably wouldn't do it. But then maybe I wouldn't be here. I've decided to go on my spiritual journey, which has been so enriching for me, if I hadn't have gone through that pain. So it's a bit waffly. I don't mean to waffle, but I feel that I need to talk about this pain and about being a mother, because it's going to reach people, and I'm reaching myself. You are all me, I am you. We are all one. We are all reflections of each other. So if you're watching this, or if you see this and you even get one thing from it, or even at a subconscious level, then that's divine, that's perfect. Or you might not even get anything from it, that's still perfect. But my message is follow your heart. So even if the pain is there, the pain is telling you something. Like I just explained, you can't, people's pain is different. It's very subjective pain. It's like going on I love roller coaster rides. It thrills me. But someone else might not like a roller coaster ride. It might terrorise them. So there we go. That's pain in a way, isn't it? It's one person's pain is another person's pleasure. So thanks for listening, if you've listened. Sending you all love, always. Be true to yourself. Follow your heart and your dreams will come alive. I know they will. God bless. Goodbye. Namaste.